Alright, getting started real quick. This world is quite wacky. And what I do is I need you to do your own research or just simply believe me because, I don't know, I'm just valid, I guess. So, simply, I cannot tell you why these things happen. I could give you what I think, but I don't want to go up and portray misinformation. I want to be as upfront and I want to tell you what there is, and what you do with what there is completely up to you. It depends on what reality you are able to handle. Now, I will be bringing attention towards some rather important ideas that correlate with this scenario. And shall we begin? So, starting off, let's explore the mission specialists that were aboard this ship that was controlled by a gaming controller from some console that I can't even recognize. So, number one, we have Stockton Rush. He's actually the CEO of the company who was aboard the ship. It makes sense that he would be there considering, it's his ship, it's his company, and whatnot. Now, you might have to, I always thought why it would be bad or good for this man in particular to be somehow lost. And, he had a aim to catalyze emerging marine technology for the discoveries in marine science, and that sounds really great. But why would it be a bad thing for a specific type of individual to have too much power over ocean exploration? See, again, I'm not going to tell you why, but I'm just going to tell you what there is. So, watch for yourself.
I might agree as one of a handful of people to ever see it in person.
Without a doubt, one of the most amazing things that I had ever seen in the bottom of the ocean. It was while filming for Blue Planet. It was in the Gulf of Mexico. I noticed there's something out in the distance. Couldn't tell exactly what, but it looked like a dark band. And as we approached it, the dark band became a donut. I saw this donut that was black in the center. What the heck is that? And so as we get closer and closer to it, I noticed that the black band had what appeared to be kind of steam over it. And then I looked, and there was water lapping against the shoreline. This band was a ring of mussels. And inside the ring of mussels was a lake. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm already underwater. We went out over the water in this lake and tried to descend in it and bounced off. It was so super saline and dense that the submarine couldn't go down in it. We literally bounced off, and as we bounced off, we sent ripples heading back to the shoreline. It was insane. I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that says enough, says a lot. Just throwing that out there. And number two, we got Amish Hardening. He's a CEO of Action Aviation, which is basically a company for private jets that rich people buy and whatnot. So apparently he flew over the North and South Pole in the same flight 50 years after we were stepped on the moon, allegedly. So to me, that just doesn't really add up, personally. If you were to ask me, that doesn't seem like, now I know there's so much more I have to learn, but just in the moment does not really add up to me. Apparently he went to the South Pole with Buzz Aldrin once, and if you are following some sort of theory, it's something to raise an eyebrow at. When it comes to, I don't know, I guess the big and well-known people, you're going to find lots of the same patterns. And so, with all that tying together, it's very easy to say that he's a billionaire, considering he sells jets and stuff to billionaires and whatnot. So there's that when it comes to what billionaires do and their connections between people. Alright, so number three, we have Shahzada Dawood plus his son both aboard this submarine. Now, the thing is about the Dawood and his son, well, just Dawood in general. He It's easy to assume that he's a billionaire. He's a vice director and chairman of the Engro Corporation, which is food and agriculture, energy and related infrastructure, and telecommunications infrastructure. So this is a big corporation that got the food, telecommunications, and agriculture all in one organization. So he's the vice chairman and director of such a thing. So yeah, that's not all there is to this guy. Again, if you want to do your own research, there's a lot more. One thing that also stands out is that he's personally friends with King Charles III. You see, again, I have much to learn and whatnot. But when it comes to, you know, again, the people at the top who have certain connections, you're going to, again, find lots of the same types of patterns, especially when things blow up in the media. Just keep it in mind for future analysis. And another thing that sticks out is that his wife also comes from a business background, starting an organic business. And I would have to assume that he had some connections with his business in order to kickstart, maintain, help his wife's business. I have no actual proof of this, but this is just very sensically sense made in my mind from these claims. And when it comes to the organic side, right? And I'm sure the disappearance of her husband is going to have an effect on her business of organic. And when it comes to organic, you know, I guess it's something we have to label, like, oh, by the way, there's nothing actually like done to this. It's weird we have to label it nowadays. Because, you know, food is GMO. Just eat the GMO food. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's not sprayed with anything bad. There's not like, you know what I'm saying? You know, let's say these things are a little less than a coincidence, a little more, a little less, however you want to look at it. I really wonder who would possibly be in charge of such a operation, or and how it would play out, and who would have the power to do such a thing. Of course, you'd have to make it seem like it was all willing by the participants, right? And I would only allege that the evidence for, you know, who's responsible is only going to come out once everybody's forgotten about all of this. So that kind of concludes everything. If this video was useful to you more than it was useless, then that means you might know how to think for yourself. If it was useless to you, then you probably are everything the government wants you to be. Thank you. By the way, the video is done. I just need to get a thumbnail real quick, so I just figured I'd put it in here to make it that long.